What's up, you guys? Welcome to today's video. We are going to be talking about Charlotte Tilbury brand. This is my very first luxury experience. Yes, that's right. I've never owned a luxury item before. So it's my first experience with luxury brand and with Charlotte Tilbury. And I am going to be talking about the Walk of No Shame quad and lipstick set, and I'm just going to discuss my thoughts. Like, is it what I hoped it would be? What do I think of my first luxury experience with makeup? And is it worth the price according to me? So this was gifted to me from a dear friend and fellow YouTuber. I will link her channel down below. Definitely go check her out. She's awesome. Thank you so much for the gift, Miss Charlie, and I can't wait to play around with it today. Let's go ahead and go with a halo eye. I'm going to start, I think, the second to lightest shade. And we're going to go pretty close to the brow. We're going to make this quite lifted and quite rounded. And then just a little bit along the lash line. I'm going to go in with this pointed pencil brush. We're going to start defining just inside what we already did. So right into the crease. I notice these shades are buildable but quite sheer. Those two shades are so similar, I almost maybe should have started with that little bit deeper one, because I'm not getting as much depth out of the little bit darker one that I thought that I would. I'm gonna go in with a fluffy brush into this lightest shade, just kind of fluff out this top part here, and it's very shimmery. Okay, I knew it was a little bit satin. Just kind of going along the edge of the entire look on the outside that first color. Since this is kind of shimmery, I'm going to go ahead and just brighten that center halo up just a bit. The shades are all blending nicely into each other. I'm just not sure there's enough variation to really get like depth out of the look. And I don't normally need a very deep shade to get depth, but with something this like cherry colored, I do kind of want that typically. Okay, back into that deepest shade. I like that deepest shade, it's a nice cherry color. That first shade I went in with is just a little orange for my taste. I don't typically like orangey eyeshadows on me. Can always go for a red though. I go into that second to lightest shade and just do the lower lash line. And because there's not a lot of variation in these tones, I think I am going to incorporate an eye pencil to help deepen things up in a minute. Just wanted to show you guys kind of what I came up with without any secondary items to the palette. This is probably my favorite shade in the palette. And it picks up really nicely on the brushes. I find that usually shimmery toppers like this don't do well with the brush. This one does really well. It is quite faint. Okay, just a little shimmer. Some of that in the inner corner as well. It's a very silky, shimmery shade. It's really nice. Got two two eye pencils here. I've got just a black pencil from Pixi, the Endless Silky Eye Pen. And then I have Rust from my NYX Jumbo Pencil collection. I think I'm going to do Rust on the bottom. I just think that this will complement and kind of deepen things up. Give it a little bit more of like a shimmery effect. And then I'm going to do the upper lash line, just to get this look a little bit of definition. I usually don't mind like a diffuse, kind of blown out, just like one and done eyeshadow look, but for today I kind of do, which is surprising because I didn't realize I would need a little extra help getting there with this palette. So start kind of thin and then get like a thicker band. Smudge this on the lower lash line. And dip into that deepest shade and then just kind of smudge out this liner on the top lash. I think Charlotte Tilbury's quads are just a little bit more for like natural smoky, so maybe I was just going in the wrong direction for what this brand intends. Okay. I'm not wowed by this look. I don't hate it, but I mean, it looks like I did less work than I did, and I typically like the opposite, where it looks like I did a lot, but I didn't. Let me go ahead and do the other eye and add some mascara, and I will be right back. Okay, so this is where we're at with the eye look. I like it. I don't necessarily love it. I would have liked just a little bit more depth with that deepest shade. Like, I just think that these two shades are just a little bit too similar. This one's more orange and this one's a little bit more red, but like as far as the amount of depth or darkness, they're kind of the same. So I think for something a little bit more like natural, but again, with natural, it's such a cherry color, like, I don't know. I think just maybe not like the halo raccoon cutesy look. I don't think it looks like a $54 palette did this. Do the lipstick. This is from the same set. I'm just gonna start with like kind of a blot. I think the key, like maybe Charlotte Tillbury products, is like more natural, less grunge. That sound you're hearing is my windows rattling, by the way. A storm is just starting to kick up here. So that's really cute. I like that color. It's kind of like a corally meets mauve. Definitely matches the tone perfectly, which is cool. I always love a monochromatic look. Now I'm going to go in and go a little bit more ham with it. It feels really, really nice. Really pretty formula. Okay, a little bit more red coming through with a heavier hand. Ooh, that's pretty. I love that color. I definitely love the lips. I think that's really, really comfortable. It's very smooth. It's staying in place. It smells really yummy too. It's, I want to say like cocoa-y. It's faint, but it's very nice. So I'm really a fan of the lipstick. This is the Walk of No Shame lipstick. I'm just not convinced about the quad. Okay, so that's the look that I came up with today. I would probably tweak a few things or try maybe a little bit more standard defining an eye look. I wouldn't go so grungy with this now that I've played around and experienced all four colors together. I've done swatches and stuff, but for the most part I just wanted to play with this on camera. And I am not really sure what to think. think. I love the idea of owning this item and how I received it much more than I actually enjoyed the tones and the colors. And I thought that the pigmentation was a bit sheer and light. Everything was fine overall. According to me, I would grade it fine. Don't come for me, Charlotte Tilbury fans. Like, this isn't a knock at the brand. I think this is just my expectations with luxury and what I think $54 for eyeshadow should perform with, as well as just my personal taste and preferences. So those things just are not aligning. I do kind of think that I will be probably passing this along to my sister. I think these colors and tones are more up her alley. I prefer something a little bit more on the reddish side, where I think this is just a bit orange, which I do like how it's like bringing out the green in my eyes. I have hazel eyes. But I have some other single shadows that I would probably reach for over this, and I hate the idea of this just sitting around in my collection not being loved and used by somebody. So I do think my sister would enjoy this. She loves the Naked Cherry from Urban Decay, and I really feel like this is sort of like a smaller bite-sized version of that color story. That being said, I do kind of wanted to show you and do some comparisons on the kind of tones that I prefer and the formula that I prefer. This is a quad that I had just already put together before I was received this very generous gift from my friend. And it's very kind of similar. I have like two mattes here, whereas with the Charlotte Tilbury, they were all shimmery, which I'm not opposed to. I was actually really excited to play with a quad that had like kind of all satins or shimmers, not really a true matte. So I'm really debating on if I should just give this another try with something a little bit more toned down as far as the look. This shimmer shade, let me just go ahead and do both. They're so similar, it's hard to like pick which one I would compare. So this one is the one from my singles, and these two are the Charlotte Tilbury. So as you can see, this one is just like slightly more mauve and slightly more iridescent, whereas these are like satiny. So it's like I didn't know whether to work with them like a matte or work with them like a shimmer. And normally that's not an issue for me, but I found that there was just enough iridescence that this kind of halo eye effect I tried to create just wasn't as flattering on my mature eyes. And then for my quad, let me go ahead and just swatch this matte, because the other thing I struggled with was it like deepening up the look, which it's no problem to get the eyeliner and things involved, but considering the price point and the hype around Charlotte Tilbury, I'm just kind of being extra critical. So here's my matte from my singles. So I feel like these would be like great one color looks for me, but as far as like performing as a quad and creating a look, I just struggled a little bit. It's not what I expected, and I think for me it's the tones. This is like a little too orange. This one's fine, it just wasn't quite deep enough. And then with that satiny kind of formula, it really just kind of sheared out, which didn't help with it not being deep enough for my preference. So I just have one more set of comparisons to do. So these were just some singles, specifically I pulled them from ColourPop palettes that I just had together in a quad that just happened to be kind of a similar color story to this one. And then the other one that has a lot of similar tones and shades in here that I reach for a lot is this one from ColourPop. This one has a lot of those like cherry orangey tones as well. These or these here. So that's it for today's video, you guys. My first experience with a luxury brand, and it's not what I thought. What do you guys think about this quad, if any of you own it? Can you give me some pointers or some tips? Maybe I need to try again. Maybe I went a little too hard into the concept of shaping my eyes out. I mean, this is still a really pretty look. Like, I don't hate it. I'm just more judging off the price point and the idea that it's a luxury. So it's really killing me that this will just either be sitting around unloved or that I didn't love it. So I'm kind of having mixed feelings right now. I don't know what to think. Maybe playing with it a few more times, or maybe just get over it, move on, and give it to somebody who I know will love it and appreciate it. I definitely loved the lipstick. I will be using this over and over. I have no questions about this one. This is definitely a tone I like. I definitely love the comfort, the finish. It's really, really pretty. I definitely lean towards satin lipsticks, which is this labeled as a particular finish? It's not, but it feels satiny, and I really enjoy that. So lipstick I definitely like. Still have mixed thoughts on the eyeshadow quad. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up this video here. Thank you guys so much for watching, so much for hanging out with me. Hello to all my new subscribers, and welcome back to all of you guys who have been hanging out with me, especially you guys from the beginning. Give me a comment down below. Give me a little black heart emoji if you have been here since the beginning. Give me a little star emoji if you just joined. So thank you so much for being here and hanging out with me today, and I'll see you in the next video.